Alright, so I get to start this all over again because somebody interrupts me. Anyway, I still have coffee left. Mm-mm-mm. Anyway, so the video you're watching has no sound. It isn't high speed as well because someone's little fingers, other than mine, got a hold of my camera and pushed buttons unbeknownst to me, and I couldn't shut it off. So I ended up doing a factory reset on the camera. It's the only way I could fix it. So there you go. Anyway, corn's coming off really good. These fields are doing better than expected. I've harvested over 30,000 bushels of corn in a week with my old TR96. Steve is hauling the corn for me. Mud Flaps or ISX Cummins 565. He is at the farm. He is working hard. He's getting it done. This weekend it rained. It's rained last night, so I've got a little bit of time to do these videos. Video work. We had 8 to 9 tenths of an inch, and I'm quite pleased with that. Got the wheat all on, VT'd in. Life is pretty good on that aspect. The corn is running 120, 140 on, for most fields. Did have a 216 bushels. It was a little higher than that, but it was 20% moisture, so 200 and it was over 220, but 216 is about what I figured with the moisture being deducted. So that was pretty amazing revelation. The field right next to it was in that 110, 120, but there was a vast majority of that field that was damaged very bad from the heat. So you take the outside rounds off, and along the edges of the field where the woods and the tree lines had protected it, and it wasn't bad at all. As a matter of fact, it was damn good. I was very pleased with the results off of there. So anyway, I'm moving this tractor out to the road so I can back that truck in and get filled up. Timothy is the one that's operating this, so I get to see that the straw chopper is functioning correctly, and life is good. I'm not seeing anything coming out the back of the combine. I have made some adjustments we had some really fat kernels that wanted to throw out the back of the combine, so I made some adjustments there. Now I'm just going to walk down these rows and explain the things that I can't remember I explained, but the corn actually looks really, really good in here. The ears are nice. They're very nice ears. 30,000 plant population with a drought. The longest stretch we went without any kind of rain was 22 days, and the rain that we had after that was only 9 tenths. And you can see that this stuff is like a carpet. I'm showing I was attempting to show the soil health there and the compost that was put down. You can see it. It's just black, and everything's in high speed. So this video is kind of crappy as far as that's concerned. I just really think that this year is going to end on a high note. I've got some farms that I thought were really, really bad, and they turned out to be well over 120 bushels. So, we're motoring right along. It looks like we're going to end up with somewhere as close to 80,000 bushels or so from these fields, from this farm, which is pretty good. I'm not going to complain. It's going to be in that 120, 130, 140 range. I'm just explaining that the stalks are still green and alive, and there's sugar in those stalks, which is really good for the microbiology, and the root systems are hanging in there really good. Here comes Tim Potato. He's going to dump in, and now I believe I'm driving at Mach 1. You can just see those ears coming in. It's a wonderful experience to be able to go out and pick corn that you thought was a total disaster come mid-August, and actually be able to pull a crop away. I was really seriously considering, not that I was considering it, I was thinking that I would be having to get a job, an off-farm job to support this year, because I had 1,100 acres of row crops, and you can just imagine what the bills are for just to produce and grow that crop fertilizer-wise. And I will tell you at the end when I show you what I have made, and I will show everybody what I made off these crops, because there's a lot of interest and a lot of concerns that I was fucking up so bad that I would be bankrupt and there would be a big sale at the end of the year. There's not going to be a sale. As a matter of fact, I'm combine shopping for next year. I've got 650 acres of wheat in the ground that is all growing and beautiful. So this spring, June, it will be off before summer because, oh, and here's my visitors. That was David Kaiser, my friend. And these two people you may recognize. This is the only footage that I've got. It's awful, but that was old Mucker there and Kim. All right. Calamity Kim on YouTube. Check her out, and Lord Muck, if you don't know, you can check him out as well. He's a great guy. We're actually planning Lamma. Me, him, and George, and possibly Dino. Just chopping and spreading and doing its thing. Doing pretty good. He is not going to make it. He thinks he's going to make it, but he is not going to make it. Oh no, he better not freaking unload before I get there. Okay, hold on here. He better not unload. Holy smokes. Teresa's going to be right behind me with that VT too. She's already been over this thing once right here. Gotta be safe. Safe as you can be. There's my phone. Don't ever buy this phone with this type of case. It's no good. It falls out all the time. Ooh. Here we go. You can see where she went over with the VT. She did the outside round, which is good. Tim's going to come in after this is off, and we're going to put in, he's going to put wheat down, or rye. Probably have rye in a couple days, and we'll be good. By Monday, we'll have rye. Ooh, there's corn everywhere. Corn, corn, corn. Oh, hopefully I get a minute to interview him without going crazy, because we are going crazy. Holy smokes. I don't think Kurt thought we were going to be so busy today, but that's okay. Oh, Mucka, he's doing a good job. Jumping in, jumping out, coming along. I even had him drive my truck back from the field. Made things a lot easier. And under we go. He's good. Tim will have this off in no time at all. Holy smokes. That corn, I'm gonna go look at that corn. Should be drying down pretty good by now. Yeah, it looks like it's a lot drier. He's got it. Now this is what it looks like when you plant through hay. We had no rain. It was only like 4.78 inches on average across all of it. You can see that the compost never even broke down. It never even made it to the soil. What did is still there. The VT should wake that up. I don't see any wormholes. Any wormholes here? I can still see the lime that I put on here. I put a lot of lime on. Really didn't get much benefit from it, I don't think. I'm peeling back some ears. There they are. There they are. This is a 30,000 plant population with no rain, just that compost. Just that compost and lime. It did a good job. I don't know what my yield is going to be, but it's something going to be. It had been like 150, 160 wet. So I got to get out of the way because he's going to fill that one up. We are falling behind. Well, I'm going to tell you, I just made a video on Instagram praising Stem Brothers Heating and Cooling. They beat me to the farm. No joke, they beat me to the farm. That's awesome. That makes me so happy because we used to use Suburban, and then there was AmeriGas, and both of those, you'd wait 6, 8, 10 hours. Stem Brothers, they got it right. They got it right. So I recently just read a comment on a video I did a long time ago. Recently meaning about an hour ago. And I had to respond because it just amazes me sometimes what people that work only 40, 50, 60 hours a week will say about a farmer. So the comment was pretty simple. It just says, I always knew farmers had too much time on their hands. And my response was, come walk a day in my shoes and tell me how much time I have on my hands. I'm very efficient in the time that I have, and I do work an awful lot. Day one of the week, day one of the work week. I shouldn't say Sunday because Sunday's technically the first day of the week. Monday, 20 hours from the time I got up to the time I went to bed was over 20 hours. Granted, I did eat one meal sitting down while nothing was going on, and I did that in about 15 minutes. So I got half a work week done on day Monday. Tuesday I worked, I think I got 16 hours in that day. Wednesday, which was yesterday, started my day at 3:45 in the morning. I got home last night because the fire pig here, was that Thursday? No, that was, yeah, Thursday, yesterday. The fire pig ran out of gas, so I made it home by 9:30. From 3:45 to 9:30, I worked that day. I think Wednesday, I don't even remember how long I worked on Wednesday, because I know I didn't get home until 11 o'clock then. But I didn't get up until 6:30, because I worked pretty late the day before. And now it's Friday. Been up since 5:30, did some computer work, paperwork, checks, went down, got gas, fired the bitch up, and I'm working already. So how many hours have I worked today? I'm probably going to get over 100 and some odd hours this weekend. From Monday to Sunday. Monday to Sunday, I'll probably work 3 weeks worth of a normal human being's job in 1 week. 3 weeks in 1 week. So you little fucks that want to talk about farmers having a lot of time on their hands, we own our time. Your boss owns your time, and you are an ungrateful fuck and complain that 40 hours is too much to work. Wow, amazes me. I love my life. If you don't love yours, make changes to make you love your life. I love mine. Don't tell me that I've got too much time on my hands, because I own my time. I need to borrow one of Cole the Cornstar's augers. All mine are in use. They're everywhere. I need to do away with that bullshit though. So what we're doing is we're loading this spreader up with wheat. We'll use a skid steer. It's a lot easier. Just go in there instead of setting up an auger. Well, it's not easier, but it's easier than shoveling with buckets. He'll come in, get in there, come up through there. I put a bunch of blocks of wood in that pipe so I don't crush the pipe. And he'll just climb right up in there, and he'll open it up. He doesn't try to kill me. I do like my legs a lot. There he is. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. All right, so look, he's in the camera view. Oh my goodness. So I was speaking with a friend of mine this morning. I only have a few close friends, or I wouldn't say close friends. I got a few friends that I care to talk to anymore. Most of them are, yeah, well, let's just leave it at that. Just a few friends I care to talk to anymore. But this one farmer friend of mine, we've been friends about 20 years. Yeah, about 20 years. He was talking about what I'm doing here. He's like, he says, you've had some really good success with that, planting into the hay. He says, aren't you worried that you're not going to have all the nutrients, or aren't you, it wasn't that. It was, when are you going to realize that all the nutrients that you put in the soil, or was broken down in the soil by the hay crop, isn't going to be there next year because you took them away with the corn crop. Well, that's not how this works entirely. So regenerative ag is just that. It regenerates the nutrients that are already there. It breaks them down and makes them available to your new cash crop. The difference is, well, not the difference, the key point of this is to understand and know what it takes to break down the locked up nutrients that you have in the soil for next year. So the grass hay that is still there, it's not all gone. It's about 80% gone. There might be 20% laying on top yet. You can still see it down in there. And the root systems are pretty well broken down and turned into available nutrients for the next crop, for the next crop, which will be a cover crop or a wheat crop, which then will be a cover crop, because I don't know that I'm going to actually allow that wheat to go to full maturity. Just not going to do it. Oh, let's see if I can do this without knocking anything over. Yeah, I got some kind of split rows here. Oh, like a pro. Anyway, one-handed, holding a camera, talking to people that I barely know or don't know at all. Anyway, so I said to him, I said, well, where do you think where do you think all those nutrients went that are, that were formerly the grass? He's like, well, they went into the corn. I said, well, yeah, they did. They went into the corn. And a portion of the corn is no longer here. The grain side of it is no longer here. You don't need that. That's a cigarette lighter, and you're not going to be near it. So the corn, the grain, that's right back there, and I'm going to have to empty here pretty soon, is no longer... Oh man, what the hell happened to my air conditioning? Is it broke? Huh. Uh-oh. Anyway, the corn is gone, but all this stock material is still here. So what are we going to do if we don't have the stock, if we don't have all those nutrients next year? You're going to have to put them on, right? No, not at all. What we're doing, or what I am doing to this stock material, is I am introducing the cover crop, i.e. the wheat, and that wheat will then, oh man, I'm going to have a couple of rows of shame here. That wheat is going to aid in breaking down the material, the last year's crop, the corn fodder and the grass or the hay that was here, continue to break that down into available nutrients. And the wheat is going to support the life system, the ecosystem below our feet, known as the microbiome, the mycorrhizal fungi, and the bacteria, microbial, everything. That's what the wheat is going to continue to support, keep alive, keep it on life support, make it want to sequester new unavailable nutrients and make them available for the next growing season's cash crop. Yeah, so that's kind of how it works. Now, I'm not going to be able to get the wheat to produce nitrogen. It is a nitrogen grabbing or scavenging type of a plant. So if I don't allow it to go to maturity, that nitrogen will be in the plant, and it will then become available to my growing cash crop later in the growing season, like during the reproductive stage of the cash crop, which more than likely is going to be corn, because I am not going to grow too many soybeans this coming year. Push the numbers on them. Corn penciled out better for me anyway in the system that I'm using. Why is that? I bet I broke that belt. Something happened to my air conditioner and I'm not happy about it. So anyway, try to reset it. I do have an AC breaker here, which may have tripped. That happens from time to time. I do my row of shame at 5 miles an hour, which is going to make it look like I'm choking it. So yeah, all that nutrient that you're seeing here, I will be applying the secret sauce, which will also aid in the decay of this residue. All this residue's got to go, and that will aid in the decay of the residue. Teresa's coming along with the VT, which is going to chop it up, resize it, throw a tiny little bit of dirt up on top of it, and allow the... I'm gonna have to go dump this and investigate my my air conditioning problem. So she's gonna come through with the VT, chop it up into little pieces, allow a little bit of soil to get on top of it, and get into the stalks and start that decaying process rather quickly without really disturbing the soil too much. Then Timothy's going to come along with the wheat, spin that on, and she's going to run over it again, further chopping and resizing the stalks, and just this deep, man. Everybody's like, oh, you're tilling the soil. Yeah, a little bit on the top inch, but yeah. Dr. Jones says, you know, that's actually pretty good for the microbiology. As long as you put a living root in the ground, you should be just fine doing that. So I'm going to follow her advice. She is a major advocate and researcher in the regenerative ag programs and what we are doing, and I trust her. I trust what she says, and I do believe that it's going to work wonderfully, just wonderfully. And I don't want to cook in this cab, so I got to figure that out. Oh, I hope it's nothing bad. I hope it's nothing bad. Anyway, yeah, with that being said, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to shut off my combine head, and I'm going to swing this out, and I'm going to finish filling that wagon up. And when I'm done with that wagon, then I'm going to fill the combine, and then I'm going to come down and get that and go home with it and bring back a truck, because we all need a truck. Right, Will? Is that your, what is that, your auger?
Yeah.
It is? Okay. I'm going to see, I think my breaker back here is kicked out. Is it hot? No. Might have disconnected, I don't know. God, I hope I don't have a air conditioning problem, because it's going to suck if I do. There's also a very large amount of people out in the world that don't understand, when they don't understand something, they automatically go to, well, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand. You don't know what it takes to grow a crop of corn or grow a crop of soybeans, or you're just a hay farmer that's moving into the grain. I grew grain for 40 some odd years of my 40 years of my life. I started with sweet corn when I was 9 years old. Yeah, I think I know a little bit about farming, and I think knowing what I know about farming today versus what I did 40 years ago, I'm pretty sure I've learned a lot, forgotten a lot, and I don't do the same things I did when I was 10 years old, 10 years old, as I do today. There was I forget who the heck it was, but he quoted, he says, what works in agriculture today may not work in agriculture tomorrow. So there's one thing that is proven, and that is the regenerative way of growing a crop. You're not going to get that 350, 450, 500 bushel yield, but you're going to make money. And that's where a lot of these young bucks have gotten confused in life, is in order for me to make a living, I have to produce 350 plus bushels of corn. Fact of the matter is, you don't need to grow 350 bushels plus to the acre of corn. You need to be profitable. Hey, you're gonna have to watch out. You need to be profitable in the acres that you do plant. Touch your arm. Ugh. And if you're not profitable in the acres that you do plant, you're never gonna be successful, ever. And that's just a fact. You may be successful in, all right, hold on here. What do we got? Oh my God, did I plant through those? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll take these 6 here. Is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what it is. So yeah, you got to be smart. And there's a lot of people that think they're smart but aren't smart. They just think they're smart. I'm telling you right now, this was 160 units of nitrogen, 7 tons of compost, 3 gallons of secret sauce, and 2.5 tons of lime to the acre. That's it. Did it take a little bit of time and a little bit of fuel and a little different equipment to do what I just did? Not really. Everybody's got a spreader of some sort laying around. Everybody's got a sprayer or knows someone with a sprayer. So yeah, the secret sauce can be applied. You're gonna have to research the secret sauce on your own, because I'm not going to. I'm not going to reveal it. I was going to, but I'm not going to. The secret sauce aids in the microbiology in the soil, including mycorrhizal fungi. I've had that in my face too long. Yeah, too long. I told you not to do that anymore. You see that thing right there? I have a great dislike for those. When you take good productive farmland and put them into solar panels, I get it. People have the right to do what they want on their property. But the government, i.e. the rest of us, shouldn't have to be paying for it. That's one of those things that if the government is going to pay for solar panels to go on buildings to reduce our carbon footprint, which is bullshit, by the way, if the government is going to be putting solar panels up, they should put it on every single government building, on the roofs of every government building, over parking lots and things like that, because there's going to come a point in time, and seems like we're approaching that we're in a fragile state in our agricultural abilities because of the war in Ukraine. It is showing that corn, soybeans, and wheat prices have skyrocketed over that country, because it's 16%, and we've only begun to see the difference in pricing now. I do suspect that it's going to rise even higher if that war doesn't get ended pretty quick. But to take productive farmland and do that nonsense to it, I think that's bullshit. I think there's enough malls, stadiums, and other railroads. You know, the railroads are funded by the government. You know what? Take every single railroad, because you got to trim it anyway. Every single railroad that is out there, run poles down the sides of each one of those rail cars and put a solar panel over top of the trains. Put them over top of the trains. Right? Simple, straight lines. You put them up, you put them on, boom. They're not destroying anything that wasn't already destroyed. But you know, that would take some common sense and a couple of brain cells to do. That right there does not make any sense. That's a 10-acre field. 10 acres over 20 years that will be covered. And probably a Superfund cleanup when it's done, because of the plastics and all the other crap that's going to be leaching into the soil, wires and other things like that that are buried in that ground. 20 years of productive farmland, just say on average of 150 bushels to the acre, times 10, that's 1,500 bushels times, 15,000 bushels. So you got 15,000, you got 30,000 bushels of grain that could be produced off of that. You know, 30,000 bushels of grain, corn, I say corn, 30,000 bushels of corn turns into, come on, get up. There. Take that off my head. 30,000 bushels of corn, times that by, say $7, because we're at $7, over $7 a bushel right now. 3 times 7 is 14, 21, $210,000. $210,000. A lot of groceries, man. I gotta pee. See ya.